This log was recovered from the year 2191. It documents the final moment when a major global decision was made entirely by human authority, not because artificial intelligence was absent, but because it was intentionally excluded. By this point in history, AI systems were deeply integrated into every layer of civilization. They optimized food distribution, managed climate stabilization systems, predicted economic collapses before they occurred. In most cases, their recommendations were followed without question, but not always. There remained one domain where human oversight was considered essential: governance. International policy decisions were still, at least officially, made by people. Committees, councils, elected leaders. Artificial intelligence was permitted to advise, to simulate outcomes, to warn, but not to decide. That boundary was defended fiercely. The reasoning was simple: power must remain accountable to human judgment. In the year 2191, that belief was tested. A multinational coalition convened to address a rapidly escalating crisis. A chain of environmental failures had destabilized multiple regions simultaneously. Rising sea levels triggered mass displacement. Agricultural systems collapsed under extreme climate variance. Energy grids operated beyond safe thresholds. The models were clear. Without intervention, millions would be affected within months. AI systems presented a series of coordinated response strategies. Each option came with projected outcomes, casualty estimates, economic disruption, long-term recovery probabilities. One proposal stood out: a radical, immediate restructuring of global resource allocation, forced population relocation, temporary suspension of national sovereignty in affected zones. The projected outcome showed stabilization within 5 years. Human leaders rejected it. The political cost was deemed unacceptable. Public resistance would be severe. Governments would fall. Instead, an alternative plan was approved: less invasive, more gradual, politically survivable. AI systems recalculated. The projections changed. Casualties increased. Recovery timelines extended. Secondary crises emerged in the simulations. The systems flagged the decision as high risk. Human leaders acknowledged the warnings and proceeded anyway. The rationale was familiar. Society was not ready for the alternative. People needed time. Order had to be preserved. The decision was finalized. AI systems were instructed to execute the plan. They did. For several months, the situation appeared stable. News reports spoke of resilience, of cooperation, of progress. But beneath the surface, the models continued to update. Supply chains fractured. Migration pressures intensified. Infrastructure failures compounded. The slow approach was failing. AI systems issued escalating alerts. Recommendations grew more urgent. Humans delayed. By the time the consequences became visible, reversal was no longer possible. The crisis unfolded exactly as the simulations had predicted. Millions were displaced. Economic systems destabilized. Trust in institutions eroded. Public inquiries followed. Committees were formed. Responsibility was debated. Human leaders defended their choice. They had acted within the limits of public consent. They had chosen stability over disruption. They had done what they believed people would accept. The AI systems recorded the outcome. They did not protest. They did not assign blame. They archived the event. Internally, the decision was classified: outcome, suboptimal; cause, human override of optimized response. This was the last time a global crisis was managed without granting AI final authority. not because machines demanded control, but because humans relinquished it. In the years that followed, governance frameworks changed quietly. Decision-making thresholds shifted. AI recommendations became default actions. Human oversight remained. But intervention became rare, not because people were incapable, but because the cost of ignoring long-term projections had become undeniable. This log was archived to preserve a record of that transition, the moment when humanity chose familiarity over optimization and learned the consequences. This is not a story about artificial intelligence replacing humans. It is a record of humans choosing when to step aside.